Once you've knitted the heel just like I showed you in my last video, it's time to move on to the foot. It's really super easy to knit because you just knit the knit stitch the whole time in black, round after round until you've reached your required length. I knit my socks in size 39/40, which means I need about 14 centimeters before I start the toe at the front. I'll knit the toe in red again so it has a nice color scheme. Where do you need to measure from? You just take a ruler or something to measure with and measure these 14 centimeters here from the start of the black wool. A quick tip, if you're knitting in other sizes, you can also try the sock on. And once your foot is long enough, right up to the start of your pinky toe, that's the perfect time to start the toe. Until then, I hope you have fun knitting, and I'll see you again for the toe. Once you've knitted the required length for your foot, you change the color again. I'm switching back to red just like for the heel, and you can start with the toe. My toe is really simple. We'll keep knitting knit stitches as always, of course, and now we're going to decrease 2 stitches in every second round by knitting them together. I'll show you how it's done on the first needle. Make sure your toe really starts on the first needle. You can see it here by the heel. Knit all the stitches knitwise until you have 2 stitches left and then knit those last 2 together. For the last 2 stitches, you knit them together knitwise again, meaning you don't insert your needle into the first stitch, but into the second stitch from behind. Just like normal, as if you were knitting a knit stitch, only you insert your needle through both stitches, pull the yarn through, and just like that, you've turned 2 stitches into 1. On the second needle, you knit the first 2 stitches together. That means, again, don't insert your needle into the first stitch, but into the second, going through both stitches from the back. Knit it like a knit stitch, and just like that, you've turned 2 stitches into 1. And you just knit the rest of the needle normally. And we do the exact same thing on the third needle, which means on the third needle, which is your odd-numbered needle. You also knit the last 2 stitches together. Insert into the back of the last 2 stitches and make 1 stitch out of 2. Fourth needle, even needle, meaning you knit the first 2 stitches together. After that, you knit all the stitches. In the second round, you just knit all the stitches without any decreases. That means you decrease stitches in every second round. You keep doing this until you have only 6 stitches left on each needle, no matter what size you're knitting. Important, I'll show you soon, that on the odd needles, meaning the first one here and the third one, you always decrease the last 2 stitches. And on the even needles, meaning the second and the fourth needle, the first 2 stitches, the reason for this is, if you look at your sock measuring from the heel here, so that the toe pulls together nice and evenly at the top without being twisted in any way, which also makes the sock more comfortable to wear. Like I said, always knit one round with your decreases and the other round without. Keep going until you have 6 stitches on each needle, and then I'll see you back here. Once you have 6 stitches left on each of your needles, your work should look like this, tapering in nice and evenly on both the right and left sides. The next rounds are going to be really easy too. You'll now just knit the same decrease rounds as before for every round, meaning on the first and third needle, you knit the last 2 stitches together. And on the second and fourth needles, knit the first 2 stitches together, and you just keep doing this until you only have 3 stitches left on each needle. Then you're all done, and you can weave in your ends. Once you have 3 stitches left on each needle, cut your yarn. Leave enough of a tail since we're going to sew up our sock now. So that means leaving a really decent amount of yarn. Then you take a tapestry needle and you can weave in the ends. I'll show you how now. And you start with your first needle again. And you always insert your needle into the stitch from bottom to top, just like you would to knit a stitch. Pull the yarn through and slip the stitch off the needle. Insert your needle from bottom to top again. Pull the yarn through and slip it off the needle. Do this all the way around, making sure, especially at the end, that no stitches slip off your needle before you've woven them in. So, once you're done, insert your needle into the little hole in the front. Turn your sock inside out, and then you weave in the ends. Pull it really nice and tight so you don't end up with a hole in the front. And then I always weave my thread through the stitches about 6 to 8 times, just to make sure everything is secured nicely. You'll do this with all the other threads too, of course, and then your sock is finished. I really love this pattern and it looks a lot harder than it actually is. It really looks great and is super fast to make. And so on and so forth. I'll turn it over for you again. And this is what your finished sock looks like. If you liked my work, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed for free. That way, you won't miss any of my new videos. Until then, I hope you have a lot of fun knitting.